I consider this step one. Yeah, yep. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name's Claudia. Thank you so much for watching today's video where we're gonna be making ceviche. Ceviche is super easy to make, and the best part about it is it requires no cooking. You don't have to use a stove or an oven, so it's great for summer. It's nice, like cold dish, and it's super refreshing. So I'm gonna show you how to make it. I will leave the recipe in the description box down below for you if you wanna make it as well. Let me know in the comments if you end up making this for yourself or for your family or friends, and let me know how it turned out, or if you have any other fun twists on ceviche. I'd love to hear about them in the comments, but let's just get started. So for today's recipe, we're gonna be using shrimp for the ceviche, and you can honestly use any type of fish, and you can start with it cooked or raw. It really doesn't matter. I'm starting with it raw, so I will be marinating, which in turn cooks the shrimp in lime juice. And I like that method because I really do think it's the tastiest for this recipe, because the shrimp is so good when it's marinated and cooked in the lime juice. So you can do that with any type of fish as well to cook it. And that way it makes it safe to eat. It's not raw if you leave it to marinate in lime juice. So I'm gonna show you how I do that right now. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is prep your lime juice marinade, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's nothing fancy. It's just 1 cup of lime juice that your shrimp is going to sit in and marinate. So I'm just gonna cut the limes into halves and then use my citrus squeezer to get 1 cup of lime juice. And then once that's done, I'm actually gonna prep the shrimp by taking off the tails and cutting them in half to make them into smaller pieces. The key to this is kind of having everything that you cut up be into little bite-sized pieces, because you wanna get each ingredient in 1 bite. We're gonna be using tortilla chips. If you can see them in the back right there. You can also use like tostadas or just eat it plain if you want as well. So I'll be chopping up the shrimp that way to put in the lime marinade. And while my shrimp is marinating, I'm just gonna chop up all the vegetables to make the best use of time, and then put them all into a little bowl on the side to mix in once the shrimp is fully cooked. Next up, we will be dicing the cucumber. So you wanna peel it first and then dice it again into small little pieces. Next up, I'll be dicing some tomatoes. It's best to use like larger tomatoes, but these are the only ones I have, and these are fine since we are gonna be dicing them anyway. I'm just gonna use a bunch of these and honestly just eyeball it to see how much, compared to the cucumber and the other vegetables, how much tomato I actually wanna put in to make sure it's like an even mixture of all the vegetables. So I'm just gonna chop these up now and then set them in the bowl with the cucumber. Next up is red onion, and I love red onions raw, honestly. I think they're so good. And the key to not making yourself cry when you're cutting onions is to not cut off the ends here. These little ends, don't cut them off. Just cut the onion in half and dice with the ends on, because if you cut the ends off, it releases whatever kind of like chemical that actually is responsible for making you cry. So just make sure you leave the ends on and just cut the onion straight across. And then once the onion's diced, I'm gonna put it in the bowl with the tomatoes and the cucumber. Next up is avocado. I'm just gonna be using 1 whole avocado and dicing it up and putting it in the bowl with all the rest of our vegetables. Next up is jalapeno. I love how these smell, but you can obviously leave these out if you can't handle spice that well. But honestly, if you cut it like I show you here and take out the seeds, it is manageable, and I think it just gives the ceviche such a nice kick, and I love it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dice up this jalapeno and pop it in the bowl with the onion and cucumber and tomato. My biggest tip for cutting jalapeno is legitimately wearing gloves. These are like the food handling gloves. I swear, if I cut a jalapeno without gloves on, days will go by and I will still be showering, washing my face, and get burning in my eyeballs. So I would say definitely cut the jalapeno with gloves on if you have them. I would highly recommend it. Even if you wash your hands a million times, I swear the spicy will stick to your hands for days. So, hot tip. And then to top it off, we have a fairly divisive herb, vegetable, whatever you want to call it, cilantro. Some people love it, some people hate it. Mine's kind of sad looking, but I personally don't love cilantro. I don't mind it in the ceviche. I do think it gives it a nice element, but you can use as much or as little cilantro as you like. Now, once the shrimp is fully cooked, as you can see, it's no longer translucent. Just give it a taste or cut them open to see if they're cooked all the way through. You don't want to overcook them because they will become rubbery if you leave them in the lime juice for too long. But obviously, you don't want to undercook them either for safety reasons. So I would say just take a look at it and see if it looks like this. As I mentioned earlier, I will be serving my ceviche with tortilla chips. I love eating it that way, and it can be an appetizer or a light dinner this way. But just like the saltiness of the chip makes it so good. And of course, you can season your ceviche with extra salt and pepper, depending on your taste preferences. And then this is the final dish. Look at how beautiful it looks. And of course, I'm gonna taste it. I'm not a freak. You wanna get each element. Got a jalapeno, a tomato, a cucumber, an avocado, and a shrimp. Ready? So good. So fresh. I love it. So that's it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for cooking with me today. Let me know in the comment section if you try this at home. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate the support, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye. So good.